Mr. Ned Nwoko is too old for this thing he's doing. He should have been the bigger person. He is an old man. At his age, look at what he's doing, spilling so much on the internet. Oh, this man is so wicked. He threw Regina Daniels under the bus. Your wife, someone you claimed to love, you threw her under the bus just like that? What are you people saying? You so-called feminists on social media, what are you saying? Why can't some of you see the truth and just say it as it is? Must you take sides? Must you be biased? Must you be sentimental? Now I want to ask you a question. If Mr. Ned Nwoko were your brother, would you let a woman come out accusing him of domestic violence, and you would tell your brother not to defend himself or say anything to clear his name? Would you do that? Would you do that? Now, I am not speaking from the angle of Mr. Ned being a politician or holding a public office. No, I am not speaking from that angle, because if I speak from that angle, it means I am being biased. Because whether he is holding a public office or not, the right thing should be done. Regina Daniels was the first to cry out that she was being violated domestically by her husband. When that video was posted, people started running with the narrative that Mr. Ned is a woman beater. As old as he still beats his wife. People ran with that narrative. And that narrative is still on social media. It will forever be on social media. And the man decided to come out to say a little of the so many things that have been happening outside social media. And you guys started blaming him that he threw his wife under the bus. Now, if Mr. Ned were your brother, would you tell him to keep quiet after his wife brought him on social media and dented his image? Would you tell him to keep quiet? And the man decided to tell us his side of the story. Since they are both doing story time, let us hear his side of the story. And now, you guys are complaining that he's talking too much. He is not behaving like an old man that he is. Really? Is that how biased some of you can be? Why would he not talk? Why do you want him to keep quiet? Even though Regina Daniels was mute at first, after that first video, her brothers were speaking. They were not quiet on social media. They were revealing a lot. It was from her mother's mouth that we heard that Regina Daniels supported Mr. Ned Nwoko with $50,000 when he was running for his position as a senator. Regina Daniels' mother said that. And when she said that, people started running with the narrative again that Mr. Ned is not as wealthy as we thought. And Regina Daniels' mother even claimed in that video that Regina was the one hyping the man on social media, calling him Odogu, just so that people could rate him. She did not stop there. She claimed that the man's son died of drug overuse in the UK. And the man started taking actions. You guys started calling him all sort of names. Really? Is that how biased you so-called feminists are? I thought you said what a man can do, a woman can also do. You have been pushing for gender equality. So you feel that a woman is weak to take certain things, but such things should be done to a man? So men do not have hearts? They don't get broken? We should do anything to them because they are men? Do you have sons? Do you have brothers? Is your father not a man? If Mr. Ned were related to you, would you be happy with the so many things Regina Daniels' brother spilled on social media about his personal life? Would you be happy? And now the man decided to talk. You guys are complaining. You guys are crying that he's talking too much. Really? Even if this matter were taken to a law court, the court is going to look at it all way round before pronouncing a judgment. They would not look at it from one angle or from one person's perspective. They are going to hear from both parties. So you have heard Regina Daniels' own. Regina Daniels is the saint. You don't care what happens to the man. You don't care what the man was going through. The man should not speak because he's a man. Right? Oh my goodness. What is this? What is this? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. If Regina Daniels' family could come out and spilled certain things about the man, it is only right for the man to defend himself by also spilling his side of the story. Equation balanced. And may I remind you that somebody was the first to cry out does not mean that they are innocent. Do you know that? That somebody was the first to cry out when there is an issue does not mean that they are innocent. Sometimes the guilty ones are the first to cry out. Yes, they are the first to raise alarm when they know that the problem they created is overwhelming them. They would run out for help and they would start playing the victim card. Be reasonable here, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that Regina Daniels was playing the victim card when she cried out. It was a good thing she cried out. But you now expecting Mr. Ned to keep quiet, not to talk, not to defend himself because he's an old man, because he is a politician, is absurd. It is totally off. If he does not defend himself, are you going to defend him? Without saying anything, most of you were already supporting Regina Daniels against him. Now he's talking, you want him to keep quiet because he's an old man. You want him to be the bigger person. If they go to a court of law, is court going to tell him to keep quiet and be the bigger person? No. They would hear from him as well as they would hear from Regina Daniels. Now the man is talking, you guys are insinuating that he's making up stories. Really? What makes you think that Regina is innocent? Because you were watching her movies when she was still a baby. Because she was acting innocent roles. Acting as a church girl. Do you know Regina Daniels outside social media? Let me ask you this. Apart from watching Regina Daniels in movies when she was still much younger, do you know her outside social media? Because that is the angle some of you are judging from. Oh, innocent Regina Daniels, little girl, small girl, church girl. Oh, our movie star, our best actress. That is where you are judging from because she was acting innocent roles. You now concluded that that was how Regina Daniels was in reality. You are so wrong. Movie roles are different from reality. That someone acted as a saint in a movie does not mean they are a saint in real life. That someone acted as an armed robber in a movie does not mean that they are an armed robber in real life. Get it clear. So stop judging Regina Daniels by the roles she was playing in movies when she was much younger. You have never lived with her. You don't know her outside social media. So why are you claiming that she is the one saying the truth and her husband is lying? Some of you are being biased on this issue. You are being sentimental. Now I will be forced to agree with that person who said that Regina Daniels and her family are using their influence on social media to oppress Mr. Ned Nwoko. I'm beginning to see things from the person's perspective. That is what you guys are doing. You guys are trying to oppress this man because Regina Daniels is your movie star. Regina Daniels is your favorite actress. So you are ready to support her and believe anything she says. And when her husband comes out to speak, you would claim that he is trying to clean his image because he's a politician. If this man were your brother, would you have said the same thing? It is only fair that we listen to both of them and hear their sides of the story. It is not right for us to tell him to keep quiet, for us to tell him to be the bigger person at this stage. Regina Daniels and her family have spilled a lot, especially her brothers, especially that Swizzy in the UK. He has spilled a lot, and you want the man to fold his hands and be the bigger person and keep quiet because he's a politician? Is he not a human being? Does he not have the red substance running through his veins? Do you think it is easy for people to come out claiming that you are an abuser? If he does not defend himself, people are going to believe that he was actually abusing Regina Daniels. So leave the man, let him talk. Let them talk. And don't be sentimental about this issue. Say the truth. When you say the truth, you say it. Don't take sides. Regina Daniels could be your sister. She could be your daughter, as well as Mr. Ned. He could be your brother. He could be your uncle. He could be your father. If you are not ready to listen to what he has to say, then don't talk. Don't analyze the issue based on Regina Daniels and her family's narrative. If you are not ready to hear him talk, then keep quiet. Do not try to analyze the issue based on what Regina Daniels or her family members say. If you have time to listen to Regina Daniels and her family, then you should also have the time to listen to Mr. Ned. Listen to him because he is a human being, not because he is a senator or because he's a politician, but because he is a human being. Hear his side of the story before you make your conclusions. Otherwise, you are just being biased or sentimental. At this point, I'm not even talking about who is wrong or who is right between the two of them. I mean, Regina Daniels and Mr. Ned. I'm just saying that you should listen to both of them before you do your analysis. It is wrong to tell the man to keep quiet because he is a man. That is so wrong. That is oppression. Yes, another form of oppression. Why the man is already being accused of using his influence to shut Regina Daniels and her family up. You want us to accept that Regina Daniels and her family use their influence on social media to oppress the man? Oppression is oppression. If you are against it, then be against it. Do not support it because it favors who you love and want to be against it because it does not favor your favorite. That is you being biased. That is you being sentimental. That is you being partial. And that is you not being truthful. Therefore, let's be guided as we analyze this issue between Regina Daniels and Mr. Ned, because a very little thing can make you an oppressor without you knowing that you are an oppressor. So let's be guided, please. Meanwhile, we shouldn't treat this issue like a national issue. It is not. It is not about politics. This issue has to do with the personal lives of people. So we should not treat it as a national issue. When we want to talk about politics, we know how to tackle Mr. Ned Nwoko. Yes, politically, he's not doing well. That is the truth. But we should not bring that into this issue. It would be so unfair for us to judge this issue politically. It has nothing to do with politics. This is about marriage, family issue. So when we are talking about it, we should talk about it on the basis of family issue, on the basis of people's personal lives, not their political lives. When it is time for politics, we would tackle Mr. Ned very well because he is not performing up to expectations. In that aspect, he's not doing well at all. Let's know where to draw the line and talk about this issue without sentiments, without emotions, without partiality. Please.